all communities are based on sharing an interest. The really good ones, though, are about sharing an attitude. The attitude of perfection through engineering and through finesse is something that comes through strongly on any car with the Volkswagen badge. And that's exactly what we're here to experience at the inaugural Volkswagen Experiences Drive event in Leh. But hang on, I've just been told that the fun has actually already begun a few days ago. So you do really well to sit back and watch this epic adventure unfold. A community drive experience is defined by diversity, and the Volkswagen Experiences Drive had a lot of it to offer. With customers and Volkswagen enthusiasts from all over the country assembling in Chandigarh, the first part of this experience was truly energetic. The sight of over a dozen shiny new Volkswagens briskly passing by must surely have turned heads along the way, and the drivers most certainly had the time of their lives. Here's evidence.
The day and the moment I read it on the Facebook page of Volkswagen, that very moment I made my mind that I'm going to do this. I just went to my dad and told him that I'm going to do this. And he said, just register immediately.
I do had few friends along with me already, but then I met few strangers, and it feels like they are the friends forever and never felt that we have never met before. So that was the beauty of it, and we are from different parts of India. And I would like to say one thing, if VW arranges this kind of event again, I would love to join, because it is one of my best memory of my life. Loving you guys.
Looks like they've had too much fun driving this impressive lineup of Volkswagens. It's our turn next. In the magical city of Leh, a bunch of familiar faces had gathered, and after a thorough safety briefing, we were flagged off to what promised to be a drive to remember. Safety, of course, is an intrinsic part of the conversation when you talk about Volkswagens, be it about how well equipped all of its cars are or their 5-star safety ratings. And much to our comfort, the drive mirrored this sentiment too. A convoy of cars, ranging from the Taigun to the Virtus and even the Tiguan, moved smoothly towards Siachen, always mindful of the surroundings. And of course, given the serious elevation we had in our sights, it was a drive brimming with fun, but also a strong sense of adventure. In a little while, we had transitioned through the mighty Khardung, among the highest motorable roads in the world, and the Taigun we'd been driving had put on an impressive show all the way to Siachen. After an eye-opening afternoon in Siachen, we retreated to Nubra for a well-deserved day of rest and introspection. We've known drives like these to typically be quite demanding and challenging, but quite truthfully, this one just hasn't been that way. I mean, sure, it isn't an easy environment for the cars, but despite that, all of these cars have made the drive so much calmer and relaxing, and that makes this sort of experience memorable for entirely different reasons than we've known such adventures to be. The Taigun I've been driving has just been so encouraging and composed, and despite the fact that we've been part of a fairly substantial convoy, I've had ample opportunity to have fun behind the wheel. I can tell you one thing, this thing can take a serious beating, and it handles so well. I mean, if I was to give it a compliment, I'd say, despite the serious driving time we've put in today, I wish we didn't have to stop for the day. Now, that's saying something, right? It's also true, however, that part of the comfort had emerged from being part of a thoughtfully curated community. Being amongst friends, people who share a sentiment of looking out for each other, makes drives like these more enjoyable, but that time was soon coming to an end. Tomorrow, we were going to be all alone. Indeed, we were.
In pursuit of perfection, or rather the understanding of it, we had chosen to drive off from Leh to Srinagar in Kashmir. But you don't just check out of Leh without ticking a few items off your bucket list. And on mine was the vast cold plateau of Changthang, the land of the nomadic herders, the Changpas.
A childhood hero of mine, the late Gaurav Jani, made a documentary about Changthang and, of course, the Changpas nearly 2 decades ago. And he had gotten here on an old, overloaded motorcycle all by himself. I'm here in an SUV that's as safe as they come. And while I don't know what he'd think of me for doing this, but quite truthfully, I'm just very grateful for evolution and for my privilege. Yes, the Taigun gets to be the hero of the story for all of the hard work it's been putting on such a strong performance and protecting us from the elements. But that's all right, because out here, more than in any other place in the world, you do realize how small you really are. And you also realize that sometimes being the hero is not the most important thing in the world. Just getting to be a part of it all, that's true privilege.
The next morning, we set off in the direction of Srinagar over a day-long drive that promised to be smooth and devoid of extreme adventures, or so we hope.
Well, it looks like we've got ourselves a bit of an adventure today, but it's still such a great day to be out driving the Taigun in these parts. You know, this car's been my home for the last few days, and we've seen it all, be it fast-flowing roads, gravel, light snow, and of course, rain today. But it's been flawless. You know, I've driven a Taigun to a lot of places in the past, but to drive on out here in these really beautiful places and these really serene villages, oh, I think I've made a friend for life.
My new friend and I had made light work of the drive to Srinagar, although since we arrived well into the night, we'd have to leave our exploration of the city to the next morning.
It's the first morning in days where I haven't had to load up the boot with luggage and set the navigation to some place agreeable and then arrive there a few hours later. In Srinagar, you don't have to travel far to find beauty. It's almost always right before your eyes. We had started out in pursuit of perfection, something we all have our own definition of. But in reality, it's an oddly unscientific concept that we just obsess over. If there's one thing we've learned from this beautiful drive with Volkswagen experiences in the Taigun, through Ladakh and now in Srinagar, it's that perfection is proportional to contentment. And that out here is the easiest thing to find.